Okay, I call the meeting of the Board of Education for North Syracuse Central School District to order. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'd like to observe a moment of silence for the following. Anne Munier, a retiree of the North Syracuse Central School District. Gary Deem, a retiree of the North Syracuse Central School District. Bonnie Burkett, a graduate and retiree of the North Syracuse Central School District. Joan Dombrowski Drury, a graduate of the North Syracuse Central School District. Gardner Hill, a graduate of the North Syracuse Central School District. John Smith, a graduate and retiree of the North Syracuse Central School District. Charles Wheatley, a retiree of the North Syracuse Central School District, and Gordon Braun, a graduate of the North Syracuse Central School District. Thank you. Yes, you may.
Because I know some of these people. Gary Deem. Gary Deem was principal at Allen Road for many years. Led that school to the kind of school it is today. And we're saddened with his loss. Bonnie Burkett was a social studies teacher at CNS. And Bonnie had a special way with students that were below average or struggling in school. That's the type of student that she wanted on her class list, and she tried very, very hard to make them successful. I got to work with her at the mentor program at CNS when we worked with struggling kids, and just a wonderful lady. John Smith was a dean many years ago at CNS, and I can see him was a real tall gentleman and led that school administration. And then I did not know Charles Wheatley, but I talked to Jim Wenham, and he was a biology teacher at CNS, and he's Scott Salmon's father-in-law. So we're saddened by those lost, and these people. Why I bring this up is because they are the foundation of our school district today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Crabtree. Okay, we're going to start on the highest note possible with the valedictorian and salutatorian awards. So we have a couple plaques here. I'm going to read I don't have directions, so I'm going to make this up. I'm going to do what I think is appropriate. I'd like to read this quote because I was just looking at it. Can you hear me here? It says, think of yourself as on the threshold of unparalleled success, a whole, clear, glorious life before you. Achieve, achieve. And that's a quote by Andrew Carnegie, which later in life I heard people pronounce it Carnegie. I'm not sure which, but I thought that was a nice quote. And that's on both the valedictorian and salutatorian plaques. I'd like to start with the valedictorian, Edwin R. Hirsch, 2021 class valedictorian, Cicero North Syracuse High School. I started backwards, didn't I? Can I start with the salutatorian? Well, we'll do them both. And we have the salutatorian, Giorgio L. Rauda, 2021 class, Cicero North Syracuse High School. We'd like to go present those.
on the way home. Delaware. We're right outside Ocean City.
Okay, thank you. Now we have some highlights from. No, that's absolutely.
High school teachers are here and I know they will be leaving after the presentation. Is this the last year that we have a valedictorian and salutatorian? It is the last year. So those will be the last two students in our school district that will receive this award. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Cicero North Syracuse High School highlights. It's loaded up here. The presentation is yours. Thank you.
Jamie, is there a mic there?
Okay, so I had a chance. What was that? Oh, yeah, sure. So the rest of my admin team is here tonight. Sarah Keys, my House 3 principal, who's getting tenure tonight, hopefully. Ann Lorenzini, House 2 principal, and Heather Pukta. She's just finishing up her first year as House 1 principal. So they're all here to help highlight everything that we've been able to do this year during the pandemic. Just a little bit of information about our valedictorian and salutatorian. I just thought it was important for you guys to know. Our valedictorian, Edwin, he's going to be going to SUNY Binghamton, where he's majoring in computer science next year. And Giorgio is going to the University of Pennsylvania. This is a mouthful, where he's getting a dual degree in chemistry, and biological basis of behavior, which is on the pre-med track. So we're very excited for both of them. All righty. Well, so we entered this year and it wasn't without its challenges, and it was like nothing we've ever experienced ever, but we were able to do some really great things at CNS. As you know, we started out bringing in students 1 day a week, which wasn't ideal, but given the number of students that we had that chose to come to school, we really were left with no option. As the pandemic wore on, we were eventually able to bring in students 2 days a week and then 4 days a week, which we were very excited about. We celebrated both milestones with Spirit Weeks. We were able to continue our major work this year with the food pantry that is based out of one of our cafeterias that Matt Root and Mark Parrish run. You know, this is one of our big highlights that we have at the high school. Our PIG students, all of our senior students took part in this. They packed and shipped over 7,800 bags of food to Roxborough Middle, Roxelle, Smith Road, Lakeshore, and Allen Road. And then next year, we're hoping to add Cicero L and Bear Road, all the while servicing our own students that are in need. The Positivity Project was also in full force, doing a few things that I'll talk about tonight. One of the things that we wanted to make sure that we did, we've got a long hallway that has a bunch of windows that look out into the courtyard, and we thought it was going to be really important just to greet our students with some positive messages painted on the windows. Our groups also placed a display on the second floor, which showed all of the 24 character strengths of the Positivity Project. The week of March 19th, the Positivity Project worked with Maria Bort from Syracuse University, where they created an interactive bulletin board that celebrated the International Day of Happiness, which all students and staff were welcome to be a part of. They put sticky notes on the Happy Acts bulletin board of things that made them happy. Our Positivity Project a couple of weeks ago also decided that they wanted to chalk the walk outside underneath the overhang where the buses came in. And the Positivity Project facilitated spreading some positivity to all the students as they came in the morning. Just something fun for the kids to look at when they were either leaving or coming in the morning. We did a couple of things with Black History Month. We really wanted to embrace the diversity in our school as well as the diversity in the United States. So the Positivity Project and our librarians, along with our administrative team led by Mrs. Pukta, they worked to create some activities that coincided with Black History Month. The Positivity Project created a display in the cafeteria that was based on Amanda Gorman's poem that she read at President Biden's inauguration, The Hill We Climb. The display focused on the positive message of the poem and encouraged students to take their own copy. The librarians created a contest that was posted on our PE Google Classroom pages so that every student had access to it. Each week, there were 4 clues about a famous African American, and these clues were posted on our video announcements and read every day during all of our lunches. We had 3 winners at the end of February and who got each week's contest correct, and they ended up winning a prize. This is one of our highlights this year. We were excited to find out that our county executive wanted to hold a press conference at CNS. And while there was a little bit of scrambling to make it all happen, we were really excited to find out that there was going to be a huge increase in mental health aid and services for Onondaga County schools. And we know firsthand that it's highly needed. And we are so excited for our schools to be able to benefit from that. Just this past Tuesday, on June 1st, our unified basketball team held a scrimmage in the CNS large gym. Our kids had a great time. They competed against each other. So they all walked away as winners. And we can't wait to see what they do next year when they hopefully get to compete against other schools. For the second year in a row, we've done our North Star Pride winners. Our awards focus on our core values of personal responsibility, respect, integrity, discipline, and engagement. And this year we were able to give out 560 awards to both in-person and remote students. Somehow we were able to pull it off. We didn't think in the fall we were going to be able to pull off our senior picture. This is only one little snippet. If you look at this picture, it definitely does not look like the entire senior class. But when the yearbooks come out next week, you'll see a photoshopped picture of our entire senior class sitting on the bleachers. It's really like 10 pictures, but it's going to be the entire senior class. We were able to pull it off. We were really, really excited about it. We had a solid week of really nice weather in March where we were able to get the entire class out there on separate days, socially distanced, of course. So we were able to get a senior picture into the yearbook. That was really, really important for us. We were able to celebrate junior prom on May 14th. Despite all the COVID guidelines, we still wanted to make sure we gave our students a junior prom and a senior ball. Students had to follow many guidelines, including getting COVID tested or having their vaccinations. But those that did it and they stayed, they told us how much of a great time they had at the end of the night. And we have senior ball this Friday night, which we're super excited about. Now, this one's going to be a long one because I am so proud of our Walk Across Wednesday program. It's something that really came out of the pandemic. During the months of December and January, we looked at every single graduating senior's grades, and we identified seniors who were at risk of not graduating. We had Zoom parent meetings for 3 nights during 1 week to try to get buy-in from parents and students. We discussed that during that meeting, we discussed our goals for the Walk Across program. We had about 20 parents that attended, but it was still 20 more parents than we had before we even started. In the end, we invited about 120 seniors to join us on our Wednesdays. On the Wednesdays where we're typically remote, they come from 11 to 1 to get extra help from our team of volunteer teachers. They're not getting anything special out of this. They are just working their tails off for all of these kids because they want to see these kids walk across the stage. What happened was 72 students came at least once. We had an average of 34 students that attended each of the 13 weeks. And out of the 72 students that showed up at least once, 55 have turned things around, and they absolutely will graduate in 3 weeks. Some of the others that we're still working on, we've got a couple other things that we can still try for them, and we're still trying to get them to have the ability to walk across that stage. Some of the things that the kids told us, we asked for reflections at the end of each day. The teachers made sure I was focused on getting stuff done. I got caught up in PIG. Next week, I'm going to focus on econ. Keep doing what you're doing. The sense of structure is nice. The help is amazing. Just please keep supporting us. And they keep us motivated. One of our Walk Across students wrote a reflection of the program for her English class. She talked about feeling hopeless because she didn't think she was going to make it to graduation. She stated that coming to Walk Across Wednesday every week, little by little, she was able to turn it around, and now she will be able to graduate just because of the Walk Across program. So I'm super proud of this program, and my teachers are amazing. The Seal of Biliteracy, another amazing thing we were able to do with our kids this year, despite the pandemic. This year we had 17 students, 3 of which will be going to college for the first time out of their families. 2 of our SEAL students were ELL students, and this was a tremendous amount of work on behalf of our students. We were just able to celebrate with all of them last week for breakfast, and they were all super excited. It was so awesome. And we had our virtual talent show. That went live 2 weeks ago. It was amazing. We had a bunch of acts. We had 2,200 viewings so far. John Nadler and his crew of kids, they're so talented. They're so dedicated to the 4D production, and our talent show students, they were amazing. We had 17 acts. They just did a great job. We were able to kick off our senior week. I've got 2 more slides just on senior week stuff. On June 2nd, cap and gown distribution. On Wednesday, we're going to our elementary schools to do the elementary graduation walk. We also, like I said, we have our senior ball on Saturday, and we have graduation on June 25th. We are so excited. We're holding an in-person ceremony. It's almost back to normal. We're very excited. We're still in the planning process. As you can imagine, there's a lot to plan, but we're very, very excited about all of it. And I just want to thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to sort of brag a little bit about everything we've been able to do this year. It really was a tough year, but it was amazing. Our kids are great. They've really gone with the flow this whole entire time, and they're just amazing. So thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or comments for them?
I can borrow your mic.
Sorry. Jamie.
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you to you and your staff and your teachers for going above and beyond, going the extra mile, coming up with a way to save our students at risk and help them so they are able to walk across the stage.
I know, I'm so excited about it.
Yes, amazing. We appreciate it so much.
Those seniors, they didn't feel like anybody cared, but once we showed them that we cared, they put in so much work. That's all they needed. They just needed to see that. And they put in the work.
You are, and your teachers and staff are truly superstars. Thank you.
So Jamie, I just want you to know that Walk Across Wednesday meant so much to so many kids. And it's that creative thinking is really what makes a difference. And you read one of the reflections. And at some point, there's going to be many more students that have reflections like that they will share. But just that day or those times alone will change the lives of so many students. And that's because of your staff, teachers, everybody who put time in. And Walk Across Wednesday is kind of one of those things that you can hang your hat on from now until the end because it was wonderful.
Thank you.
It's not in your presentation, but the athletic teams, you know, it started out the year, we didn't have football and so forth, and we're ending up, 4 of our teams out of 4 are in the sectional starting tomorrow night. And that's proud moment. And also our music department at the high school. I know they're going to be doing something, I believe, on Thursday night at a park. So just, yeah, it's great for the kids. And so athletics and also music.
Yes, music just held a teacher appreciation night last week and they were able to hold a concert. So it was pretty awesome.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have an update on Bear Road Elementary School. Mr. Irwin, thank you.
Well, good evening. Just bear with me a moment while I get this up for everyone. All right. Well, thank you for having me yet again. So Bear Road is progressing very well. I do want to acknowledge that the staff and the faculty out at Bear Road and also at Lakeshore. Bear Road staff has really put up with a lot of noise, a lot of dust throughout construction. They've been troopers through it all. And thanks to their cooperation, we've really done well on our schedule. The folks up at Lakeshore have been a little bit crowded. They've bored with that very well. I hear great things. We actually had the staff from Bear Road that is at Lakeshore come down for a quick visit to see some of the construction just a week or 2 ago. So some great things happening. So up here now is a sketch of the building as it's going to be in its completion. If you look at the very center where we got some hatched areas, I just want to refresh everybody's memory. What we're looking at here are the kindergarten classrooms. There's 6 rooms there, 3 hatched and 3 adjacent to the right. Those were turned over April break. And if you look to the bottom center, you can see the library there. Left of the library and straight up the screen is the area that's currently under construction. Okay, so those are the areas we're going to be sharing with you today. The rest of the building will be under construction over the course of the next school year. So for phase 1, the work we're doing now, like we said, the 5 rooms are done and occupied, and we're ahead of schedule. We're expecting substantial completion of phase 1 in early July. We're hoping to turn over those classroom spaces for staff here at the end of June before they leave to get some of their classroom materials into the spaces. That's a total of 14 classrooms and 2 of the new group areas, along with the library that'll be ready for use in September. And phase 2, early this summer, the new playground and courtyard are going to be completed and ready for students in September. And we're going to be doing a ton of site work. We're actually closing the property down to visitors for the month of July at minimum and possibly into early August to do that site work and keep things safe. And then shortly after, we'll be getting teachers back in mid to late August, along with the secretaries and building principal. We're also pushing construction on 4 classrooms currently. We've got demo just about complete, and we're hoping to have them ready late in the fall just to add some extra space for everybody to spread out a little bit and loosen things up a little bit. And the remainder of the phase 2 work is expected to carry through next year and into the summer, with the project closing out in November of 22. I got a quick little video for everyone here. just showing some of the kindergarten spaces. And as you'll see, as we get a little further along where the ViewSonic board is on the wall, you'll see there's some temporary whiteboards. The actual whiteboards will be installed this summer. And there's a few other details that are still lacking that they'll wrap up this summer in these spaces. All right, in the new construction areas, the photos above, the first photo above the content there is the kindergarten hallway. What you're looking at is the switchable glass that goes on the corridor walls. So in a lockdown, that will go opaque, so no one can see into the classroom space. And on the left is the main corridor headed out from, as you move down the hall from the library, that's that long corridor that went up the screen earlier. And what did we lose here? There we go. All right, now here are some of the new classroom spaces that are currently under construction and getting ready to be turned over here at the end of the month. You'll note the educational wall, the whiteboard is applied to the wall. The little box on the bottom left is your connections for the teacher station. And the box further up that you can kind of barely see is actually the ViewSonic board connections. All the ViewSonic boards raise and lower so the kids can access them and the teacher can raise them up in the classroom for viewing from the back of the room. Okay, and you can see that in that top picture on the left in the far section there. That's like the teaching wall. Opposite the teaching wall, you'll see the lockers in the next picture. And then opposite along the hallway wall, you'll see the countertops and cabinets all through there with the sink. And to the right of those are the bathrooms. Okay. This is kind of what it looks like right now on site. We're getting ready for the playground. All right, and a little preview of what that's going to look like. So you'll note there's the yellow shaded areas are rubberized surfacing for ADA accessibility. So the main playground section will be accessible, swings will be accessible, and the picnic area will be accessible at the site, along with that concrete sidewalk down the center. And a preview of what the courtyard is going to look like. Now, this particular rendering is from the previous design. So there are a few little differences with the entry points to it. But in concept, this is what we're going to end up with: a center amphitheater, 3 or 4 staging areas with seating. As we come out of the entrances, those will be concrete patios. That pathway that you see is a rubberized surface. So there'll be a softer surface similar to what's going to be around the playgrounds, all with low maintenance shrubbery and plantings and low growth grasses so that we don't have to do any mowing out in the courtyard. And that's kind of where we're at and what we're going to see come September. All right, thank you very much. Any questions?
Thank you. Any questions?
I have a question. Can you go to the slide where you're showing the classrooms?
Sure.
No, keep going.
There we go.
Can you go to the other? Oh, maybe it was in the video.
Oh, in the kindergarten video?
Yeah. I was wondering why we're seeing space heaters and fans.
I think you saw a fan, actually.
Oh, I saw a space heater too. Yeah.
There,
Oh, that was a fan too?
there's that one fan and then there's a tall skinny fan in the next set of
Yeah.
slides. I think you'll see it on the, there it is. Yep,
Yeah,
that's a fan.
that's a fan. Okay. Well, I just, we just are doing renovations. Why is it needed?
Yeah, that's, the fans are there, just, teachers brought them in from the spaces that they had,
Okay.
so.
So the airflow, they
The
still
the
need
new air
it?
handler's up and running in the kindergarten suites. There is no air conditioning still in the building yet,
Okay,
so that's being installed now.
okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, we have no one signed up for comments from the audience. So we'll go to Board of Education Committee reports, and I will look to Mrs. Scanlon for any comments.
So our policy committee will be meeting next Tuesday, June 15th at 5 PM via Zoom. It's the last meeting of the school year.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Crabtree, the Legislative Committee.
Legislative Committee had their last meeting last week. It's been a difficult year at the beginning with COVID, but also with our budget. We thought we would have some difficulties, but our legislators worked very, very hard and got us the added monies, and we are going to be looking at some wonderful programs in the fall. But what we did was we talked a little bit about some of the issues that'll be here before us next year. And so I'll go real quickly. First of all, we talked about the positive budget, the bus bonding and the Salina votes were all positive, and thank you to the taxpayers and staff. One thing we're going to have to look at, Mr. Bowles brought it up, is building aid. If we're going to be looking at some things with facilities, the formula for building aid is not up to par. So hopefully our legislators will come through with that. Terry knows we talked a little bit about, and it's a big topic coming up in our schools, is diversity, equity, inclusion. As the Board of Regents talked about it, but I do like our new commissioner who is not making it, telling you exactly how to mandate it. So I like that. Social emotional, we talked about technology. So those are issues that we're going to look at next year and how they pertain to us, our legislators. We're saying goodbye to some of our students. Giorgio has been on the committee for a while, and Owen Greco and Riley Koala. So we lost 3 really wonderful students who made a difference on this committee. I always believe, the administrators can say whatever, board members can say whatever, but it's the students who stand up for what they believe our schools should have. And Mr. Sturpey certainly listened to you during the year. However, we're going to have some new members. We had 4 new members come. Hopefully we didn't scare them away, Giorgio, and hopefully they'll be with us next year. But I want to thank Paul, our president, and Terry and Matt for joining the committee, putting up with me most of the time because I like to talk. And Xavier, thank you for being a member of our committee as a community member. And I'm hoping if the president nominates me again in July, that you will stay with the committee. I would really like that. And that's it. We'll be meeting in the fall.
Thank you. Would you like to give us an
I'll
OCM
keep
BOCES
on- I'll
report?
keep on going.
All
So
right.
I am the liaison between North Syracuse and BOCES. I'm a board member with BOCES. And congratulations to our assistant superintendent for instructional services, which both Dan and Chris know really well. Chris DeFolvio will now be the superintendent at Cazenovia. So Dan, you'll be working with him on Wednesdays. I also want to thank Dan for giving us the list of all the graduates from BOCES. I believe there were 50 that are in the CTE program, New Vision program. And I think that's great that we have a lot of students. But I want to talk, and I probably, Dan, am I going to take away your thunder about one student? Sure? Because the principal's here, and there is a teacher in our New Vision program. I'm doing awful tonight. Criminal justice. And he's been with us for 25 years, and he's a sheriff. and I think he might be a retired sheriff, but I've been in his classroom and it's amazing what these students do, the portfolio they do. Well, one of our students, Ty King, wrote an essay. He had each of the students write an essay. They had to interview their teachers. They had to interview the teachers and write a detailed letter for gratitude, how they made a difference in their life. And I shared it with Dan Bowles, and I mean, tears. Ty King wrote about Elena Capria, the math teacher, and how as a 10th grader, I was 10th grader, guys don't listen. I was not the best student in 10th grade. I was there to have fun at high school. And I had two teachers make a difference to say, you know what, you need to buckle up and start doing some things. And Elena made a difference for him, and he'll be graduating. And I just think that's an honor again to your program at the high school, ladies. And please let her know that. And that's it for BOCES.
Okay, thank you. Superintendent's comments. Yes, Mr. Bowles.
So we may have to change the order because following Bob sometimes is very difficult. But I want to start off with our valedictorian and salutatorian, Edwin and Giorgio. I want to challenge the both of you because the two of you have been exceptional representation of students coming from North Syracuse. We have 630 graduates. We have the largest class of any suburb school in the county. So that is an amazing accomplishment. And what I'd like, if you have the time, next year during your either Christmas break or a break, if Mrs. Sullivan can arrange it, come back and talk to some students in the study hall to show them and let them know what it takes to be successful at the next level and some of the skills that you learned from being at CNS and from the staff. So that would really help students because you've lived it. And Georgie was in a meeting that I had with students, and we talked about the love and passion for what you do. And when staff makes it relevant and current with what they're teaching, really makes a difference. So that's the first thing for you gentlemen, and I really appreciate all you do and represent for our school district. The next thing. The next thing is mask wearing. I believe all of you were surprised, just like many of us as superintendents were surprised Friday. I think the first announcement came at 3:05 p.m. and it continued. A lot of confusion. Phones were going off the hook. And each day we sent out a notification on Saturday to the community, to our staff. And we had a meeting with superintendents today at 3 p.m. So right now, there's still an executive order in place. So we will be wearing a mask right now until there's something more in writing, but it looks like when that time comes, but we're hopeful that we can get through the school year with only 2 weeks left, but more to come on that. But definitely looking forward to next school year where we can be 5 days in person and more people will be vaccinated and again, waiting for any orders in writing. Mr. Irwin mentioned Bear Road. I like seeing the new slides, and they've really been pushing and pushing hard, and that's coming along. And you're right, I've lived through construction. There's times where people are trying to teach and there's noise and things like that, but the product at the end is absolutely astounding, and I look forward to walking through, seeing the looks on the faces of staff and students when they have a new building that they are very proud to be part of. The last thing I have, Mr. Crabtree, you stole my thunder on this one, but we have many of our spring sports that are in sectionals. Baseball is going to face Utica Proctor on Tuesday. Softball is so good, they get a first round bye. Girls lacrosse will be playing on Tuesday. Boys lacrosse will also be playing on Tuesday. Girls will be at 5, the boys will be at 7, and track and field will be on Wednesday. So, and girls will be Tuesday at Liverpool. So many of our programs are doing wonderful, and we want to keep that going. And finally, I think Bob mentioned the BOCES graduations, and Crown Road is on Friday, June 11th at 10 to 11. We have Turning Points, Stellata and Homer, Monday, June 14th, Crossroads, Tuesday, June 15th. So a lot of good things are happening at this time of year.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bowles. Any other Board of Education members want to comment? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to the routine action items, and I'll ask for a motion for consideration approval of the minutes from the Board of Education meeting of May 25th, 2021. Motion from Mr. Harrington, second from Ms. Kruger. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? That is carried. I'd like a motion, if I could, to get B, C, and D placed together. Motion from Mr. Thorne, second from Mr. Marizio. B being the consideration classification of the placement of disabled students by the District Committee on Special Ed. C, the classification for preschool by the District Committee on Preschool Special Ed. And we have the consideration of classification and placement for the home instruction programs by the Home Instruction Review Committee. That is before us. Any questions? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed, and that is carried. Discussion action items. We have a vehicle bonding resolution, which will be a roll call vote. If I get a motion to put that before us, please. Motion, Mr. Crabtree, second from Mr. Thorne. Any discussion before the vote? Seeing none, Ms. Gibson. Aye.
Yes.
Aye. Yes.
Aye.
Okay, that is carried unanimously. This time I'd look for a motion for the adjournment of the regular meeting for the purpose of conducting a public hearing on the district. Sorry, did I miss one? Yes. Could I have a motion to put item B before us, which is a resolution to abolish and create instructional and support staff positions? Motion, Mrs. Scanlon, second from Mr. Xavier. Moody Wuzik. I'll do the whole thing. How's that? We have that before us. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed, that is carried. Okay, at this time, I'll look for a motion for the adjournment of the regular meeting for the purpose of conducting a public hearing on the district's smart school spending plan. Motion from Ms. Scanlon, second from Mr. Thorne. Any discussion on the adjournment? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? We are adjourned. And I will call to order these the meeting, the public hearing on the smart school spending plan. The purpose of that is to see if there are any questions from the community or board members, for that matter, in regards to the spending plan, which will be on the board agenda to approve or not right after we reconvene the board meeting. And I see no questions. Did you want to comment at all?
I was just going to
You don't
say,
have to. I just-
it's
you're
pretty
looking-
routine, $211,000 worth of ViewSonic boards that we're going to use with our next Smart Schools money. We presented it to the community about a month ago, and we in the business office haven't gotten any questions or technology department. So we're feeling pretty good about it.
Okay. With that, I would take a resolution, I guess, or a motion to adjourn the hearing. Motion from Ms. Kruger, second from Mr. Herman. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed, we're adjourned. And I'm sorry, in that motion, I will call back to order the regular meeting of the Board of Education on June 7th, 2021. And so before us, I need a motion for E, the Smart School Spending Plan, Investment Plan number 5. Motion from Mr. Harrington, second from Ms. Kruger. That is before us now. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Congratulations. And a motion, please, for the resolution approving the First Amendment to the Superintendent's Employment Agreement. Motion from Mr. Crabtree, second from Mr. Marizio. Any discussion?
I just want to make a comment. I know it's
Sure.
personnel, it's personnel. We have to, the superintendent has been with us, what, 2 years, Dan? And I just can't say enough of what he's done for the school district to move us forward. We've all talked, and we just think Dan is amazing, and this year beyond whatever. There's a positive attitude in the school district, very few concerns. My phone has not been off the hook like it used to be. And Dan, thank you so much for what you have done.
Okay, any other comments? Okay, seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Thank you. Motion, please, for these, to accept the surplus of non-marketable equipment. Motion from Mr. Thorne, second from Ms. Scanlon. Any comments? We have a lot of sewing machines that are non-marketable, yes. Okay, all in favor? Opposed? That is carried. We have a retirement to acknowledge. It is Rosa Agnoli, custodial worker one, retires with 10 years of service. So thank you to Ms. Agnoli. Personnel reports. If I get a motion to place instructional personnel report A before us, motion from Mr. Marizio, second from Ms. Scanlon. Any discussion on that report? Okay, seeing none, all in favor? Opposed, that is carried. Thank you. Motion for B, support staff personnel report, place that before us. Motion from Ms. Kruger, second from Mr. Harrington. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed, and that is carried. And administrative personnel report, motion please to place that before Mr. Crabtree, motion from, second from Mr. Thorne. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed, that is carried. Congratulations. At this time, I would like to make a motion to go into executive session, and I'll ask for a second. This will be for the purpose of reviewing the employment record of 7 individuals with no action to follow. Second from Mr. Marizio. Any discussion on that? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed, and that is carried. And I just need a motion for the adjournment of the meeting. Motion from Mr. Music. I'm going to make up an name, sorry. Motion from Xavier, a second from Matt. Any discussion on adjournment? All in favor? Opposed, that is carried. Thank you very much.